sat cross-legged on the rug, watching as my older sister Amelia giggled with excitement, her fingers dancing over the giant Gucci shopping bag with the signature green stripe and gold lettering. My parents sat beaming on the couch, Dad with a mug of eggnog, Mom with her phone, already filming. "This is insane," Amelia squealed, holding up the black leather bag like it was a sacred relic. "Is this the one from the new cruise collection?" My mom clapped. "Of course, only the best for our girl," Dad chuckled. "You deserve it, sweetheart. You've worked hard this year." I blinked. Hard. Amelia had switched majors 3 times in college, failed a few classes, and still expected our parents to cover every expense. But she was beautiful, charming, and loud. She demanded attention and always got it. I didn't. I was quiet, observant. The easy child. They'd always said, "She never asks for anything." And they were right. I had learned not to. Beneath the tree, there were more gifts, mostly for Amelia: designer clothes, an Apple Watch, expensive skincare. There were even things from Santa, labeled in glittery ink. And then there was a small, flat envelope. It was tucked awkwardly between 2 bigger boxes, almost like an afterthought. My name was written in my mother's handwriting, neat, impersonal. I picked it up quietly. My heart already knew what was coming, but hope was cruel like that. Maybe it was concert tickets. Maybe a letter, something thoughtful. I opened the envelope. Inside was a $2 holiday card. Cheap cardstock with a generic snowman on the front. Inside, a single line in blue ink. "Merry Christmas, Lily, love you. Mom and Dad, no money, no gift card." Nothing, just that. I stared at the card for a moment too long, trying to swallow the lump forming in my throat. "Did you open it?" Mom asked, not even looking at me. "Yeah," I replied, voice barely above a whisper. "Aw," she smiled vaguely. "Hope you liked it." I nodded, "Yeah, it's nice." It wasn't, but I smiled anyway because that's what I always did. That's what I'd been trained to do. Smile through being overlooked. Smile through birthdays where the cake had someone else's name on it. Smile through dinners where no one asked about school, about art club, about me. I looked at Amelia again. She was taking selfies with the Gucci bag, lips pouted, angles perfected. I was invisible in my own family photo. Later that night, when everyone had gone to bed and the house was still, I sat in my room with the card in my lap. My fingers traced the edges like they might reveal something I missed. A message hidden in the paper. A reason, but all it gave me was silence. It wasn't about the money. It never really had been. It was about what the gifts represented. Amelia received value, effort, pride. I received obligation. I pulled open my bottom drawer, the one where I kept things that hurt too much to throw away. Inside were old birthday cards, unsigned report cards, handmade gifts I'd given my parents that were returned to me without fanfare. Now this card would join them, one more piece in a growing pile of quiet heartbreak. That night I lay in bed staring at the ceiling, the weight of years pressing down on my chest. All those times I told myself it's fine, they don't mean it, maybe next time. But this time, something was different. Something inside me had shifted. The tree downstairs was perfectly symmetrical, every light and ribbon in place. But this house, this family was anything but balanced. For the first time, I let myself feel it. Not just the sadness, but the anger. Not loud, not violent, just warm, like a candle finally being lit. I didn't know exactly what I was going to do yet, but I knew I couldn't keep playing the role they'd written for me. The quiet one, the easy one, the forgotten one. Because I wasn't invisible, and someday soon they were going to see me. The lights were still glowing softly around the house. Wrapping paper littered the floor. Amelia's new Gucci bag sat proudly on the coffee table like a shrine. My $2 snowman card had mysteriously vanished. No one even asked where it was. Not that anyone would have noticed if I was missing either. I wandered into the kitchen, the cold tiles biting at my bare feet. Amelia's laughter echoed faintly from her room upstairs. Mom was already planning a New Year's dinner on the phone with Aunt Clara, going on about how Amelia just lit up the room yesterday. And did you see her bag? We just had to spoil her. I poured a glass of water and left without a word. My room was my only safe place. The walls were covered in charcoal sketches, taped up like silent witnesses to my loneliness. Some were of faceless people. Some were birds in cages. One was a girl screaming with her mouth sewn shut. No one ever asked to see my art. I sat at my desk, pulled out my journal, and opened to a fresh page. December 26. I feel like I'm haunting this house, like I died years ago and no one noticed. I wonder what would happen if I just left. Would they realize I was gone, or just think the air got a little quieter? I closed the journal before the tears could smudge the ink. I wasn't usually this dramatic. I'd always convinced myself to be rational, to give my parents the benefit of the doubt. They're busy, they love you in their own way. Amelia just needs more right now, but those excuses were getting old. So was I. I was 17 now, not a little girl hoping they'd finally remember her favorite color, her favorite movie, her birthday. I was almost an adult, and still, I felt like a child begging for scraps of love at a table that was never set for me. That night, I got a message from my best friend, Me. How was your Christmas? Did you get the sketching tablet you wanted? Raps, boggles. I stared at the screen for a long time before replying. Me, no tablet, just a card. Me, wait, what? Me, yeah, a card. That's it, me. But your sister got me a Gucci bag, $4 300. Me, Lily, that's not okay. That was the first time someone had said it out loud to me. That's not okay, not oh maybe next year, and not well they mean well, just. That's not okay. Me FaceTimed me almost immediately. Her brows were knitted in concern, her voice a soft whisper like she was trying not to break me. Do you want to talk about it? She asked. I didn't, but I did anyway. I told her everything, not just about the card. But the years of being second, the forgotten birthdays, the school plays they missed, the art contests I won that they didn't attend. I told her about how even the family dog had been named by Amelia, and how I had no say, not even in that. When I was done, she was silent for a moment. Then she said the thing that stuck with me. Lily, you've been living in a house that only sees your shadow. The next morning, I started thinking differently. Not just about them, but about me. I wasn't angry yet. Not fully, not in the way that makes you shout or slam doors. No, it was deeper than that, quieter. I started noticing things I used to overlook, like how there were no baby pictures of me in the hallway. Only Amelia's first steps, Amelia's ballet recitals, Amelia's graduation, like how Mom asked me to do the dishes while Amelia watched TV again. Like how Dad didn't ask me about college, even though applications were due next month. It was like I wasn't real. But I was, and the more I noticed, the more I realized that my silence had become part of their comfort. It made their favoritism easier, convenient, so I stopped helping around the house. I stopped laughing at Amelia's jokes. I stopped being the soft, quiet girl who absorbed every blow without flinching. One night at dinner, Mom looked up and said, "You've been quiet lately." I looked her dead in the eye and replied, "Have I?" She blinked. Dad looked up from his phone. Amelia rolled her eyes. "Don't be dramatic," Mom said, shaking her head, but I wasn't being dramatic. I was being seen. That night, I stood in front of the hallway mirror and stared at myself. I looked the same as always, long brown hair, tired eyes, sweater sleeves pulled over my hands, but something in my expression had changed. Resolve, I wasn't going to scream. I wasn't going to break things. But I wasn't going to stay invisible either. Not anymore. There was power in quiet rebellion. And I was just getting started. Dinner was roast chicken, steamed vegetables, and the usual small talk about Amelia's internship that she hadn't even started yet. Mom poured wine into her glass, still gushing. "Oh, honey, you are going to crush that PR role. You're a star. People just love you the minute you walk in." Amelia smirked. "Well, I do light up a room," Dad chuckled. "You've always had that sparkle." I pushed a piece of broccoli around my plate, letting the words sink in. Sparkle, star, light, me. I was the shadow they never acknowledged. "Lily, eat something." Mom said distractedly. "You're so quiet." I looked up. There it was again, that phrase, "you're so quiet." It was their favorite observation, like they'd discovered a personality trait I hadn't noticed myself. I placed my fork down gently, the metal clinking softly against the porcelain. "I've been quiet," I said. For a long time, the table went still. Dad looked up. Mom blinked. Amelia tilted her head, her brow furrowed like I'd just spoken another language. "I'm quiet," I continued, "because every time I've tried to talk, I've been ignored." A heavy silence wrapped itself around the table. "What are you talking about?" Mom asked, her voice light, forced. "You really want to know?" I asked. "Okay, let's start with Christmas." Mom shifted uncomfortably. "Oh, come on. Don't make this about presents." "It's not about the presents," I said, my voice rising just slightly. "It's about the fact that Amelia got a $4,000 designer bag and I got a $2 card that you probably grabbed from a gas station." Amelia scoffed. "Are you seriously jealous right now?" I turned to her. "I'm not jealous of a bag. I'm hurt and I'm tired of being invisible, of pretending this family is fair. Don't be dramatic." Dad muttered, reaching for his water glass, and that's when something in me snapped, not in fury, but in clarity. "I'm not being dramatic. I'm being honest," I said, "and I'm sorry if that makes you uncomfortable." They weren't used to this version of me, the version that looked them in the eye and didn't shrink away. I looked at my mom. "You've forgotten my birthday twice, but you threw a surprise party for Amelia because she passed one midterm." She opened her mouth, but I kept going. "Dad, you always ask her about school, internships, her dating life. You've never asked me what I want to do after graduation. Do you even know what I'm applying for?" His mouth opened slightly, but no words came out. "And Amelia," I said, turning to her, "you act like I'm some bitter side character in a movie where you're the star. But you've never once said thank you for all the times I supported you. I was always there, cheering you on, and you couldn't even fake interest in the art show where I won first place." Amelia rolled her eyes. "You think winning a local art contest is the same as landing an internship at a major PR firm?" "No," I said, calm now. "I think both matter, but only one of us has ever been told we matter. The other just had to learn to live without it." For a long, uncomfortable moment, no one said a word. I stood up slowly. My voice was steady now, but my hands trembled slightly at my sides. "I'm not trying to make you feel guilty. I'm trying to make you see me." I picked up my plate and carried it to the sink. Behind me, I heard my mom say, "Lily, we love you." I turned back. "I believe you think you do," I said. "But love isn't just words, it's effort, it's presence. It's remembering things about someone that don't benefit you, and you've never really tried to know me. You love the idea of me quiet, low maintenance, no trouble. But you don't know me, and honestly, that hurts more than hate ever could." I walked upstairs before they could say anything else. After the confrontation, things in the house shifted, but not in the way I hoped. My parents became quieter around me, not apologetic, just awkward. They avoided eye contact, made small talk, pretended nothing had happened. It was like they wanted to reset everything without addressing what had broken. As for Amelia, she posted something cryptic on Instagram that week. People who play the victim are usually just mad they weren't the favorite. Stay mad. Face blowing a kiss # sorry not sorry. I didn't even respond. Because I was done playing a part in a story I didn't write. I got a job at a local bookstore. The pay was average. The hours were long, but for the first time, I had something that was mine. My boss let me hang up some of my artwork behind the register. People noticed, people asked about it, some even bought prints. It was the smallest spotlight, but it felt warmer than any spotlight I'd ever stood beside in that house. In the spring, I got accepted to a college 2 states away. I didn't announce it at dinner. I didn't tape the letter to the fridge. I just packed. When I told my parents, my mom looked stunned. "But we thought you'd stay local. You didn't ask," I replied. Dad cleared his throat. "Do you need help with expenses?" I shrugged. "I've got it covered. Scholarships, my own savings." He looked uncomfortable, maybe even ashamed, but I didn't say anything else. I wasn't going to beg for them to invest in me. Not anymore. The next day, Mom left a check on my dresser. I didn't cash it. One night, I posted my journal entry, the one from December 26, on a private blog I'd started. I titled it, "What It Feels Like to Be the Forgettable Daughter at Christmas." I didn't name names. I didn't use photos, but I told the truth. By morning, it had been shared over 20 0 times. People left comments like, "This was my childhood. I felt this in my soul. Thank you for saying what I never could." It didn't fix anything, but for once, my voice had reached someone. Summer came, then fall. I left home with 2 suitcases, a sketchbook, and a single photograph. Me at 6 years old, smiling proudly with a crayon drawing in my hands. No one in my family had ever framed it, so I did. College was overwhelming at first, but in the best way. I met people who saw me not as the quiet one, not as the easy child, but as Lily, just Lily. They listened when I spoke. They asked about my art. They remembered my birthday. Me sent me a care package in October with snacks, a framed print of my own artwork, and a note that read, "You were never invisible. You just needed the right people to see you." One Sunday afternoon, I got a message from my mother. "Mom, can we talk sometime soon? We miss you." Read, I stared at it for a long time. Not because I didn't want to respond, but because for once, I wasn't desperate for the connection. I wrote back, "Me, maybe someday." "Not today," she replied with a heart. I didn't answer. That's the thing about healing. It's not loud. It's not cinematic. It's quiet and slow and deeply personal. I still think about that Christmas sometimes. The Gucci bag, the $2 card, the look in their eyes when I finally spoke out. But I don't cry anymore. Because I no longer need them to validate me. Because I'm building a life where I am loved, heard, and seen fully. Not as a daughter, not as a disappointment, but as myself, and that is the sweetest revenge.